How y'all doing? Everybody's good? Thanks for having me out. I'll tell you what, this is the craziest thing, because I was just telling somebody in the back, I'm used to entertaining 20,000 people all the time, and I was like, this is nothing. I'm nervous as hell right now. Like, they literally brought in a mime for 25 years to talk. This is new. But before I go, I want to say one thing, and I want to thank TEDx, and I want everybody to understand, like you guys don't understand the machine that is behind TEDx, and the people that are involved in this are freaking amazing. I'm saying that for them because I just want to say what you guys have done. You've been so fun to work with, and I love it. Okay. Oh, my timer's going. Is there any way we reset it? I was talking about you guys. Like, come on. You guys are killing me. So, okay, here we go. I'm going to give this a shot. I hope you guys are with me. I might screw this up because I did write it last night. I'm honest to God. I'm a mascot. I kind of shoot from the hip. But like I said, you guys, I was so fortunate, one, to be able to come from a farm up in East Grand Forks, Minnesota. I was so fortunate to have an amazing family and a childhood that literally trained me for my job. Everything from, climbing trees, climbing the house. I went to a school that, it was Sagitter High School up in East Grand Forks, Minnesota, and I told my family this the other night. I actually bumped into Simon Andrews. He's a son of the principal and one of the teachers there, and I told him straight up, God, if it wasn't for your parents, I would have been kicked out. I should have been kicked out 900 times. I got a quick story. I'm diverting. I've already got off on a tangent here. So I remember sitting there, and like our principal even said, I wasn't a mean kid. I was just so ADHD, it wasn't funny. And I remember sitting out in the hallway, because we had another parent-teacher conference, and this is no lie. I heard my mother go, "What do you want me to do? Put him to sleep?" Woo! I was a great kid. Yeah. So I ended up in East Grand Forks, Minnesota, ended up down here to go to MSU. Who's a dragon? Any cobbers? I'd have stole your beanie. Yep, still don't understand why. I just know we'd go out, get drunk, and try and steal beanies. But went from the college, career, started coaching. Anybody go to American Gold Gymnastics? There you go. I coached with my wife over at American Gold Gymnastics for a number of years. That's where I ended up starting with the Fargo Fever. Fargo Fever was a CBA team that came to town, and that's where it all started. And believe it or not, I got fired. I got fired from the Fargo Fever because they said, I'm going to kill myself or I'm going to kill somebody in the crowd. And, it wasn't a big shock because, it wasn't hurting me too bad. It was $25 a night, just so you know. I'd go to a sports bar, spend it there. So it was pretty good. So started mascotting in the CBA, loved it. Believe it or not, I was going to school to be an attorney. Screwed that up. Ended up a mascot. Still don't know how the hell that worked. But so I was sitting in school doing these mascot gigs, and I thought, you know what? I met the Phoenix Gorilla, and his name is Bob Wolf, and I think I can say that now because he's not in suit. He retired just a few years after I did. And I asked him, I said, wait a minute, you're doing this as a career? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, nothing else? And he's like, no. And I'm like, Jesus, sign me up. So I did an application to all the NBA teams. I got a tryout. And I'm going to roll through this because this clock is killing me. So I was sitting there, and I was like, okay, so I get a tryout with Sacramento Kings, Seattle Supersonics, Utah Jazz. I go down, I do tryouts, I leave, and I was like, there's no way. There were national tryouts. All these people from ASU gymnasts to, performers that did it professionally, and I was just a young kid from East Grand Forks, Minnesota, that didn't understand heights. So tryouts happened, and believe it or not, I got called back for a second tryout. Went down for second tryouts, and left again, thinking there's no way I got it, because one of the guys that was trying out, his name was Eli Akins, dude, he could jump out of the building. He would hit the tramp. He could literally grab the top of the backboard. I'm like, that guy got it. So this is the stupidest thing in the world. I get a call back from all 3 teams, and they're like, hey, we'd love to have you come out to our team. I didn't call anybody back. Nope, and I kid you not. And I remember to this day, didn't call anybody back because I was too afraid to take that step and step out of my comfort zone and do this career. The only reason I got this job is because Grant Harrison from the Utah Jazz, who was vice president of game operations, called me back and said, did you take a job with one of the other teams? And I said, nope. And he goes, well, what are you doing? And I said, I honest to God don't know, Grant. I go, I don't know what to do. He goes, well, come out for a year, and let's see if we can work together, and let's see what happens. And I said, okay. Got engaged, told my wife, or fiance at the time, stay here. I'll be back in a year. I go, there's no way this is going to work. There's just no way. Well, 30 years later, we're still in Utah. So that was how me getting the job worked. And honestly, I swear to you guys, it found me, doors opened, and thankfully, I stepped through those doors every time a door would open. And I'm blessed that way. Can we add more time? I'm down to 2 minutes. So, really quick, I'm going to rifle through this. The character was like, it became really successful, like uber successful, and I loved it. I had over 80 community and national awards. I was honored by 3 different governors for 3 different days in the state. I got 2 different keys to the cities, and I don't know how, And I seriously was sitting there over this time, and I'm like, well, what the hell did I do? How did I get from A to B to be successful? And I sat there, and I was like, well, there's really no roadmap. And anytime you hear, like, these other speakers, I'm not talking about you guys, some other people, I'm just saying, they always go, look, this is what you do. And I was like, well, I can't tell you guys how this worked. I can only explain how it worked for me because the situations and the people that presented themselves in the right times and in the right moments is what worked for me. So really what I did is I just pulled out a few things, and I'm going to fly through this here. So one of them was when I started, there was really only 3 main characters, and it was the Philly Phanatic, Phoenix Gorilla, San Diego Chicken. Everybody's heard of them, right? So I got there, and I was just like, okay, I need to emulate them, do what they're doing because they know what they're doing. But then I quickly realized, this sucks. I'm dying on their sword. I seriously, when they failed, I failed because I was copying what they were doing. When they had a success, it was great to have a success, but it wasn't my success. It was their success. It wasn't my idea. And I wasn't driving the bus, and that drove me crazy. So I finally was just like, okay. Went to my team and said, listen, I'm gonna do something that nobody's doing. I'm going a different direction. I'm forging my own path. And they looked at me like, what? they're like, we have 3 amazing mascots. Their careers are amazing. Just do what they're doing. And I said, nope. So that's where, as you saw in the video, I started stunts. And I said, nobody is doing stunts, so that's what I'm gonna do. And then that, it was great, except for, I'm not sure if you saw me run out on the stage and how hobbly I am. I trashed my body doing it, which I totally knew was gonna happen. I remember joking in my cage all the time. We'd laugh after I'd hurt myself. Because I had 13 surgeries, 25 torn ligament, tendons, and muscles. Swear to God, a banker box full of worker comp claims. Got kicked off of workers' comp, had to go on a special workers' comp so it was crazy. But did that, and then the other thing that I did is I shared all my ideas. And my assistant would always say, why are you sharing your good ideas? And I'd be like, listen, if I don't share my ideas, and it's kind of like a litmus test, I'm gonna throw it out there to all these other guys, and if I see them copy it, then I know it was good. The other thing is, I didn't want to get complacent. I didn't want to just sit here and look, I'm just going to do this and nobody's copying it and I'm good. I said, I wanted to push myself. This was the way to push myself. I'm here, look at this idea, look at this idea. And it all, like an example is when I started, I was doing the ladder. It was a 12-foot ladder with signs. Then it transitioned after somebody copied it into a 25-foot ladder. Then it transitioned into a ladder with a handstand. Then it transitioned into a ladder with stilts. And I had 4-foot stilts and crawl up these stilts. And then I was like, well, damn it, I got to come up with something nobody's going to copy, because if I come up with something else, I'm going to die. So I turned it into the one-armed handstand that you saw on there, and nobody copied it to this day, so I'm happy I'm stuck with that one. I never had to go there. But after that, then I was thinking, okay, what else was it? And I said, okay, the other thing that it was I. And I said, I did not create the success of this character. I drove the bus a little bit, but the success literally came from everybody around me. I was a big clock, and there were so many cogs in this wheel that I couldn't say, I did this. I created the success. No, it was the other mascots. It was my bear crew. It was the management, everybody that helped me out, even the littlest bit, it was there. People forget to thank the people around them that got them to their position. And it doesn't matter how small. Even a small thing to help you is a door that opens. I'm still flying, TEDx. Greg, am I okay? Can I keep talking? Am I done? Serious? It's a hard close? Okay, really quick, then I'll go right to the end. Really quick, because this is what I wanted to say. So the whole thing, my success was amazing. I can't explain how lucky and fortunate I was, but my biggest success was understanding my biggest failure. And my biggest failure was this right here as a career, and not realizing that it was a job, and I need to walk away from it. My failure was my family. I was never home. My wife, my kids, and that, after I left, I realized that was my success. That is what I needed to focus on. And I still kill myself, because I would have much rather been a good mascot and a hell of a father and a successful father and husband.